Hey kids, so I'd like to introduce myself as Zong and I'll be your tutor for this video on how to design your own card. So without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. When you first open Scratch, you'll be met with this window. On the left side of the screen, this is the blocks area, where you can see all the categories presented to you along with your assigned functional blocks. In the middle of the screen, this is the scripts area, where you can drag in blocks to create a program. We don't need that block right now, so we can just go ahead and delete that by dragging it back to where you got it from. On the upper right hand corner of the screen, this is the stage, where you can observe what you have created from your blocks. Below that is the sprite list, with a control panel to alter your selected sprites. Now, we are set to begin making our V card. In this part, we will have a cat drop down into the stage and wish us all a happy Children's Day. After that, we will make the cat fly out of the stage, out of our sight. Let's do this. First, in the menu bar, we are going to rename our project to My First V Card. In the sprite list, we will delete sprite 1 by clicking on it and clicking the trash icon on top of it. Then, let us navigate to the right side of the sprite list, where we will be giving our stage a background. Hover over this button that prompts us to choose a backdrop, then click on it. It will bring us to this window where we can see a variety of backgrounds to choose from. But for today, we are going to go with a space theme. This theme has been chosen as it symbolizes the infinite possibilities of our creative minds. Navigate to the tab listed as Space and choose the background named Stars. Now you can see that the stage has turned into space filled with 1,000 stars. After that, below the menu bar, we will navigate to the tab named Sounds. Here, we are greeted with another window where we can prepare the sounds we are going to use in our project. In the list on the left, we are going to select the only sound listed and delete it by clicking on the trash icon that appears on top of it. Then, hover over this button that prompts us to choose a sound. Then, click on it. Similar to before, this brings us to yet another window with a bunch of sounds that we can use. But for this specific project, let us type Dance Around in the search bar. We can see that a sound file with the same name has appeared. We can preview this sound by hovering over this button. If you're getting the same sound, then you are good to go. Press on this file to add it into our project. With that, the file now appears on our sounds list. Other than that, we will also need a male sound. Like before, we're going to choose another sound from the list by searching for male. However, this time, we are met with two different sound files named as male and male 2. Can you guess which one is it? The correct sound file that we will be using is named male. We know this by previewing the sound with this button before adding it into our project. With that, we are finished in the Sounds tab. Now, we are going to navigate over to the Backdrops tab. Here, we are yet again greeted with a new window where we can see the space background that we added in before. However, this is not the window we are looking for. To correct this, navigate to the sprite list and hover over the button which says Choose a sprite and click on it. Here, we can see a bunch of images that are called sprites. Before you get too excited, remember that we are here on a mission to retrieve the cat sprite. In this search bar, type in cat and choose the first cat that pops out in the results. By clicking on it, we are brought back to the Code tab. Here, we can see that the Backdrop tab has now been renamed to Costumes. Click on it and we are brought to the correct window that we are looking for. Here we can see two costumes in the list on the left. We are going to delete the second costume by clicking on it and clicking the trash icon that appears on top of it. Now with that done, we are going to make the animation where the cat drops down onto the stage, costume by costume, frame by frame. Please follow me closely as we go along. By selecting the first costume, let us click and drag the cat. Whoops, looks like I mistakenly taken off the cat's tail. Let me undo that by pressing on this undo button. No, we don't want this. So to fix this, we must click and drag on an area until we are able to highlight all the parts of the cat. Then, we are going to group them together by clicking on this group button. Now that it is grouped together, we are now able to move the cat around easily. Below the screen here, two buttons can be seen that enables us to zoom in and out of the area when clicked on. This icon with a plus sign lets us zoom in, while the icon with a minus sign lets us zoom out of the screen. For now, we will be zooming out of the screen until we are able to see the boundaries of the stage. The middle box tells us the area that can be seen on the stage when played, but the areas outside of the box is where the costumes won't be appearing. After that, let us duplicate the first costume by right-clicking on it and selecting the Duplicate button. This creates a similar costume which we can edit later. Click on the cat in the first costume and delete it. Now, with the knowledge of duplicating and highlighting, head over to the second costume and follow me as we alter the shape of the cat by dragging the dots surrounding it when we click on it. Let us start with the first frame. Picture in your mind how the cat is going to drop down frame by frame. Try your best to mimic what I am doing in the video. In the end, we have created a bunch of costumes that show the cat dropping down when we put it in motion, which we will be doing in another section. Now that all of that has been done, we are now set to start building our blocks. Head over to the Code tab where we are met with our original window. Here, we are going to create a series of blocks by clicking and dragging them from the blocks area to the scripts area. Please follow me closely as this is a crucial part of our project. From the events category, we are going to drag out the when green flag is clicked block with a green flag icon on it. This will prompt Scratch to start our series of blocks when the green flag here is clicked. Then, we are going to start playing the music Dance Around, which we just added before. We can do this by navigating to the sound category and dragging out the start sound block and attaching it below the other block we just added. You will hear a click when it has been attached. By now, you can see how this section works. By clicking and dragging on a variety of blocks, we are able to create a program for our project. In the next few steps, please follow my lead as we will be creating the needed series of blocks to enable our cat to animate. So a little bit of information. The reason why we are adding these blocks like Go To, Switch Costume, Set Size to, Clear Graphics Effects, and Show is to make sure that the sprite in the stage refreshes back every time we test the program. We are going to drag out Wait 1 seconds from the Events category to tell the program to wait for a second before proceeding to run the following blocks. Then, with the repeat until block, we are going to cycle along the costumes that we have created to make our animation. Please follow me closely here. In this bar, we are going to type an 8 to tell the program to repeat from the first until the 8th costume that we have just created. Again, clear graphic effects to clear any unwanted effects on the stage. Now, we are going to have the cat make a meow sound while making it talk to us. We can do this with the following block named Say 4 Seconds from the Looks category. After that, we will repeat what we have done before, but now it is to make the cat fly out of the stage. With all that done, we have finished part 1 of our project. Let's take a look by pressing on the flat icon. Wasn't that cool? You made it yourself. Be proud of that. Now, let us continue to the next part. In this part, we are going to make the words Happy Children's Day appear along with a sprite of a birthday cake. I hope you remember what you have learned in the first part of this video, because we will be applying them here as well. To start off, we will navigate to the Sounds tab to add in the sounds needed for this part. Like before, there are 2 sound files that will be needed for this part of the project, each named as Whoop and Snap. Once we added them in, we will move on to the Costumes tab. Here, we are to add a new costume to replace the cat that has just flown away with the words Happy Children's Day. By duplicating the 8th costume, which is empty, we are going to click on any part of the screen and type happy and change its font to handwriting as shown here. Then we will repeat the same steps as before to alter it into its position in each frame. We are also going to apply the same method to the other two words, which are children's and they. Please follow along carefully as you don't want to miss this part. Now that the animating words are completed, we can add in the birthday cake sprite as a finishing touch to our animation. Same as the others, the birthday cake will be floating into the stage, frame by frame. Once that it is done, we can proceed to have Happy Children's Day float out of the screen while we zoom into the birthday cake. Follow along as we make that happen. Now, we will create a set of costumes where we can see that the candles on the birthday cake are blown off one by one in each frame. We can do this by duplicating yet another costume, followed by highlighting the whole cake and then clicking on the Ungroup button. This is to allow us to take off the lit fire on the candle in the costume. Select it and then when it is highlighted properly, delete it. Now, we are going to repeat the same steps for the other three candles, starting from the left, then to the right, and back to the left. Wasn't that easy? Well, for the last candle, we will be preserving it and adding a costume in which we will cover the stage with a brown square. We can do this by selecting the square button from the toolbar. Click and drag over the middle box, ensuring that the entire area has been covered completely. After that, we are done here. Great work, everybody! Here we are, back here again. Remember about that whoop song we just added? Well, we are going to pop it in between one of the blocks we have already created. Again, sound category, start sound, and drag it out onto here. This will tell Scratch to play this sound when the cat starts flying out of the stage. We will also be doing some changes to slow down the animation just now by adding the wait 1 seconds between these blocks. After that, follow what I am doing in the video closely as the following steps are going to be similar to what we have done so far. Here, we are telling Scratch 1 second before repeating the costumes until costume number 27, where we can see the words Happy Children's Day appear on the stage upon testing. After that, a clear graphic effects block is used as a refresh for the sprite. Then, we will tell Scratch to repeat the costumes until costume number 35, where the birthday cake we added drops down onto the stage and zooms in while the words float away. Then, we will proceed to animate it to blow out the candles one by one. For this, do you remember what costume number was used where the 4th candle is blown out? It was 44. Now at last, we will tell Scratch to change the costume to its final form, which was a brown screen. Same as always, repeat until costume number 45, which was the last costume. And while it plays, we can hear the snap sound that we have added. Clear the graphic effects, and then we are ready to test our finished product. Hey kids, so that is all for today's video, and I hope you guys learned something from it, and I'm very happy to be able to teach you all on it. And I hope you can give this gift to your friends on Happy Children's Day, and I'm sure that they will be happy. Thank you and goodbye.